And let me assure you of something. When I seduce you, if I decide to seduce you, don't worry, you'll know.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel karinealourde, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. Today we are talking about the 90s icon Robin Givens, and you guys will be shocked to see that back in the 80s and 90s, well, the late 80s and 90s, she was like the Amber Heard of the Black community and sports community, and unjustly so. But people are just now waking up to the unjust of what happened to Robin Givens. But you guys would be so surprised how even on some videos here on YouTube where they're like, where is Robin Givens now? You know, projects she's doing. The comments are ugly. I was so shocked to see some of the hideous comments. Like, people really still don't like her and label her harshly. And it all started with Mike Tyson. And we're gonna get into this, why that happened. And me, I never knew this about her. I always loved Robin Givens. She always just appeared so elegant, so charming, very beautiful, like, love her smile. And she's petite, very small and short. You know, I'm a shorty myself, so I always loved me some Robin Givens on screen. I loved her in Boomerang. I loved her in A Rage in Harlem. She was unfairly vilified by the media as a gold digger who married heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson in 1988, only to benefit from his millions. Her critics believe she deserved the title of America's most hated woman in that same year. There were polls done about her. Let's get into her childhood before we get into all of that, okay? Robin Simone Givens was born on November 27th, 1964. Givens was born in New York City to parents Ruth and Reuben Givens, who got divorced when she was just 2 years old, but her mother became very successful, okay? So she had a pretty privileged lifestyle. Givens and Stephanie were raised by her mother in Mount Vernon in New Rochelle, New York. Her mother always encouraged her children's creativity and helped them develop an interest in the arts. When she was young, Robin began playing the violin but quickly decided it was not for her. She chose instead to channel her artistic energy through acting, and at the age of 10, she started acting classes at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. Givens grew up in a Catholic family. She occasionally played the part of an adolescent actress and model. She was a model who was featured in publications including Mademoiselle and 17, and as a visitor at Aunt Emma's party in the 1978 movie The Wiz, she made her screen debut at the age of 14. Givens received a diploma from New Rochelle Academy, which was a private school. She became one of the youngest students to enroll at Sarah Lawrence College as a pre-med major when she was 15 years old. So she was very intelligent, and Sarah Lawrence College is a very prestigious college. She performed in daytime dramas while she was a student. She received her diploma in 1984 at the age of 19. Givens claimed to have dropped out of Harvard Medical School to concentrate on her acting profession. Later, it was revealed that she attended the Harvard Graduate School of Arts and Science. Now, as far as her career, Givens tried out for a guest appearance on The Cosby Show in 1985. Bill Cosby mentored her once she was chosen for the position. He convinced her to leave school, promising to get her back into medical school and cover her tuition if she didn't succeed in 2 years. Shortly after, Givens co-starred with Faye Dunaway in the 1986 television movies Beverly Hills Madam and Different Strokes. The following year, she was cast in a lead role in the ABC sitcom Head of the Class as the affluent Darlene Merriman. The 5-season television show came to an end in 1991. She co-starred with Oprah Winfrey in The Women of Brewster Place. And in 1989, while appearing in Head of the Class, later she was seen in Boomerang. Givens photographed Bear for a Playboy magazine in 1994. Givens thought she had lost her voice during that time. This was after the whole thing, you know, with Mike Tyson, which we're going to get into. Therefore, one of the reasons she posed for the magazine was so she could write her own story, and she was given permission to like write a piece for them. In May 1995, Givens was named 88th on the Empire magazine's list of the 100 sexiest stars in the film history. Givens co-starred with Yasmin Bleeth in the 1996 television film The Face, also known as A Face to Die For, and later same year she co-starred in the UPN sitcom Sparks, which ran from 1996 until 1991. She also appeared in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Denise. Givens played the wife of a cheating husband in a brief cameo in Toni Braxton's music video He Wasn't Man Enough, and in January 2000, later that year, she made a comeback to the entertainment scene as the host of the chat show Forgive or Forget, taking over for Mother Love midway through the second season. After Givens took up the hosting duties, ratings spiked at first, but then they quickly declined, and after this season, the television show was canceled. In 2006, Givens tried to return to television on My Network TV's Saint and Sinners, but the show received mediocre ratings and was canceled. Givens continues performing in TV movies and appeared on Praise the Lord and Larry King Live, and in 2007, she published her book Grace Will Lead Me Home. Givens returned to film in The Family That Prays and in the CW comedy drama The Game. She played a fictional version of herself. She's also been on Tyler Perry's House of Pain and Burn Notice. In addition to TV and cinema, Givens has performed on stage also. In 2001, she starred in the Vagina Monologues, and in 2006, she played Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway. She toured the country in 2007 in Men, Money, and Gold Diggers. Now, let's get into her marriages, okay? Givens and Eddie Murphy that is, did you guys know that they dated briefly before when she was a sophomore in college and he was a cast member of Saturday Night Live? He even offered to pay for like her books for med school. He was very supportive of her also. In 1987, Givens started dating boxer Mike Tyson. Givens claimed that Tyson was physically violent before their February 7, 1988 wedding. Tyson claimed that the connection had severely traumatized him. Together, they appeared in a Diet Pepsi commercial and on Life magazine cover. After her miscarriage in June 1988, their marriage began to fall apart. Tyson claims Givens' pregnancy and miscarriage was a ruse only to rush him to the wedding altar, noting that in all the time she was supposedly pregnant, Givens never gained a pound. And in October 1988, Givens filed for divorce, citing spousal abuse, and was granted a temporary restraining order.
I can't imagine that anyone could live with Mike Tyson and not recognize that there was a problem. He's got a side to him that's scary. I think that there's a time when he cannot control his temper. He shakes, he pushes, he swings. Sometimes I think he's trying to scare me. When he's in a manic state, he doesn't sleep. He has enormous amounts of energy. So your sleeping agitates him. He gets you up. There's an argument. I mean, of course you want to sleep.
So you run out of the room and he runs after you.
Right.
And people see this, and it's in the paper.
Right. With the type of disease that Michael has, he was a hyperactive child. It turned into something else. It's something that he's had for a very long time. It went untreated, therefore it got worse. It's something that the doctor says gets worse in your 20s. Hitting teachers, hitting girls and pulling them into a bathroom. You cannot just, it's not a bad boy when they occur too often.
So why wasn't it treated?
Because I think he did very well in the ring. I think he did exceptionally well in the ring.
Tyson sought an annulment, accusing her of stealing millions of dollars and manipulating the public. Givens responded by filing a $125 million libel suit for defamation. Their divorce was finalized on Valentine's Day in 1989. Givens received negative press following her split from Tyson, particularly within sports and the African American community. The headlines were, "The most hated woman in America." Yeah, that was headlines like that. And she was described as a gold digger who married Tyson solely for his millions. Givens denied that she received a reported divorce settlement of over $10 million from Tyson, stating that she didn't receive one dime. Givens agreed that her role as a smart girl, rich bougie girl in the 1986 to 1991 ABC sitcom Head of the Class might have led people to think she was not like them and stuck up, but she's still hurt by the idea that she's not as black as other black people, because that was one of the criticisms during her divorce that people were saying. Like she said, and I quote, "I'm a black woman," she says, leaning forward. "I'm a sister through and through. To have your people not embrace you hurts," end quote. Yet when Givens started dating Iron Mike Tyson in the beginning of 1987, many people were suspicious. Many people questioned what kind of appeal Mike Tyson could possibly have for such a cultured young lady beyond his $40 million fortune. The differences were really noticeable to a lot of people. At the young age of 15, Givens and enrolled at the prestigious Sarah Lawrence College, like we stated. And by the time she was 19, she already graduated and landed at a guest role on The Cosby Show, which launched her into a new career. Her mother, Ruth Roper, an entrepreneur who created portfolio management systems for New York City brokerages, raised her and her sister Stephanie on her own. Like I said, her mother was successful, okay? The Bronzeville neighborhood of Brooklyn was a challenging environment for Tyson's upbringing, which is in contrast to Givens. The former juvenile delinquent defeated Tony Tucker in 1987 at the age of 21 to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. A lot of people, to them, Mike Tyson was a hero. It felt like forever since they had a true champion to rally behind. So to many people, they were very protective of Mike Tyson and they saw Givens as trouble. She was already familiar with two of eligible bachelors who were already wealthy, like Eddie Murphy in college. When she was in college, even before she was famous, she knew Eddie Murphy, and Michael Jordan in the early days of his record-setting career with the Chicago Bulls, when neither of them were household names, right? So people were like, maybe she's just on the come up. According to the 1989 biography Fire and Fear, the inside story of Mike Tyson, Tyson admitted he punched Givens, stating, and I quote, "That was the best punch I've ever thrown in my entire life." Tyson later claimed the books was filled with inaccuracies. In 2009, Tyson joked about socking Givens on Oprah, which caused laughter in the audience. Winfrey later did issue an apology to Givens. Oprah, come on, Oprah. Givens' public reputation had taken a serious hit by the time she left Tyson. In the autumn of 1988, she was dubbed the most hated woman in America after a CNN Newsnight viewer poll revealed that 93% of respondents blamed her for the couple's divorce. You could feel the vitriol being directed at Givens, even from CNN. On the street, a woman once exclaimed to her, they came up to her and said, "He should have kicked your ass," which I wish he would have just ended your life. They said that, of course, more explicitly. And people use the fact that she had that Barbara Walters interview with Mike Tyson sitting right next to her, and she was just saying how terrible their marriage was, how terrible of a person he was, to be like, oh, look at her, manipulative and da 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 da. He's subdued. But she wasn't the only one who spoke about Mike Tyson like that, you know? Even his entourage who were around him, when they recount their own stories, said he had a temper. Police were called before it for their homes. So I just didn't understand why people did not believe her, and they thought she was like this Amber Heard just because they loved Mike Tyson. So show Robin Givens some love in the comments, because I know it's only a matter of times before her haters come on here and, you know, destroy these comments. Put a heart in the comment for her and just have some sympathy. In his memoir, Undisputed Truth, Tyson, who was 52 at the time, alleged that he once drove to Givens' house and saw her in a car with Pitt in the driveway after they had split, Brad Pitt, that is. Tyson also claimed he caught Givens and Pitt in bed together while they were still married.
Tell the Brad Pitt, Robin Givens story.
I was getting a divorce. I was going to my lawyer office to divorce her that day, but I wanted to sneak in a quickie. So I wasn't mad or anything.
Before you both would be going to your lawyer's office as part of the divorce proceedings, like same day you would be having...
Maybe before we go see the lawyers, yes.
You'd be having sex?
Yes. Yeah. And I guess Brad got there earlier than I did. You should saw his face when he saw me.
Oh, he saw you?
Oh, yeah.
So Givens did deny all of this on Watch What Happened Live with Andy Cohen. She was like, pulling up in the driveway, that part is true, Givens said. I didn't read the book, but I was told he says he caught us in bed, which never happened. Never, ever, ever happened. When asked to elaborate on why she and Pitt were in a car together, Givens said, we were coming from like a screening or something. She also denied claims that Tyson made that Brad Pitt begged him not to punch him. He walked in the bed and, you know, Brad Pitt was like, don't punch me, man, don't punch me. Givens was like, that don't even sound like Brad Pitt. Come on, he's a cool guy with a lot of swagger. He would not be doing that. So now there was another issue with Michael Jordan. Let's talk about it. After Mike and Givens separated in 1989, Givens dated Michael Jordan. This did not sit well with Mike Tyson, who confronted Michael Jordan at a meeting of some kind in Chicago. He accused Michael Jordan of stealing his wife and used some rather harsh language to make his point. Jordan looks like he just seen a ghost, said Tyson in the book Taming the Beast, Untold Story of Mike Tyson, written by his former manager, Rory Holloway. According to Holloway, he said, I know, to Jordan, this is him talking to Jordan, I know you messed with her, Mike said. You can tell me. Jordan, it's obvious. And Holloway stated that that's what he did. Michael Jordan rushed out of there quickly. Although it was a good thing that Michael walked away and diffused the situation, you can kind of see how volatile the situation was for Givens. Anyone she was with, Mike was ready to, put the pause on him. Now let's talk about her and Howard Stern. Naturally, Howard Stern had to ask Robin Givens about her contentious marriage to Mike Tyson when she first appeared on his radio program in 1999. The subject was more than pertinent despite the fact that it had been 10 years since their divorce, legal disputes and accusations of, But during the interview, Howard didn't really pay much attention to Robin Givens' dispute with Mike Tyson, okay? He was focused on other things. There was, in fact, no doubt that they instantly clicked. Howard immediately began complimenting Robin Givens on her appearance as soon as she entered the room. "Wow, okay, let's do this," he said as she was about to sit down. The first thing he asked concerned contents of her underwear, okay? However, Robin was well prepared for his antics. She seemed to take great pleasure. They went out for drinks soon after the interview and dated briefly before Howard met his future wife, Beth. As part of an interview with Andy Cohen for his show Watch What Happens Live in 2019, Robin talked about her relationship with Howard and Howard's habits of making joke about his little wee-wee. Howard always likes to joke and say that he has a little wee-wee, a little manhood, okay? The question of how tall Howard actually is in that department, Robin replied, "Howard Stern was a fantastic lover. It's unbelievable, really," end quote. Howard hasn't said much about what happened during or after his relationship with Robin, beyond the fact that they dated. Nonetheless, it appeared that they parted ways amicably, as they have only ever spoken positively of each other ever since their initial meeting on his show back in 1999. And in 1993, Givens adopted her first son, Michael Buddy Givens, and in 1997 she married her tennis instructor, I cannot pronounce his name, forgive me, but it's Svetozar Marinkovic. Givens filed for divorce months later, and in 1999 she had a second son, William Billy Jensen, with ex-boyfriend tennis player Murphy Jensen. Nowadays she's like on Riverdale, she's just doing her thing, she's behind the scenes directing episodes. I love that for her. She's been low-key, pretty much living a low-key life. On her Instagram is very positive, very low-key, just loving on her kids, loving life, and I want that for her. And I want people to revisit the hate that she got, because Mike, I understand loving your favorite athlete, and yes, there can be trifling women in the industry. We've seen it where they switch a narrative away so that they can look good. It happens, okay? And I'm not one to ever just side with a woman because she's a woman. But when someone, like, you can go on Oprah and make jokes about punching your ex-wife and everybody laughs at that. Come on, you know what I mean? When you can constantly make jokes about those things, put it in a, well, he did say the book was fabricated a lot too, but if it's in the book, you know what I mean? Like, it's just terrible. The incidents that happened, and be mad at men, potential lovers, that's very narcissistic. If she has potential lovers like Brad Pitt, people she's dating, and you kind of come and try to intimidate them like Michael Jordan, I think he probably put a stop to a lot of people that she wanted to date just because they were intimidated by him. Who knows? But sending her lots of love, and she'll continue to be an icon in my book. Comment below who else you guys would like to see next. If you like the music you're listening to in the background, the link is in the description. I love you guys so much. Until next time.